Hey everybody, I hope you can hear me. Before I get started, I'm having a little bit of a connectivity issue, so stay where you are. I'm logging myself off, and then I'm going to log back on. So, Danielle, I've unmuted you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. So you may need to bring yourself back into the stream as well, but
Okay.
we're just going to do a quick little restart. But stay where you are because I'm not ending the stream. I'm just restarting on my end.
Okay.
So I'll be right back, everybody. Okay, I think we're good. Danielle, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you great.
Perfect. I'm going to start. I'll mute us. We'll play the beginning music and we'll get on. All right, here goes. Okay, we managed to do it, Danielle.
Yay!
Yay. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. The signal as I was looking at it, it felt like it was falling and falling. I'm like, I need to restart that. So thanks everybody for being so patient.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for it. We are going to have such a fun day today. This earring is so good. There they are, everybody. Look at them in
That's
all
so
of their glory. I love them. Love, love. You know, we added a whole bunch of new Picasso 10-aughts. So those are done in 10-aughts, Danielle.
right. Yeah, so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. They look so good. So
Thanks.
so if you folks know, if you jump on to the homepage on the beadshop.com site, I put a link right front and center on all the 10-aughts. So it links to all the 10-aughts we carry. And we would not have started to carry Delicas in 10-aughts if it hadn't been for you, Danielle. This was all you. I just love them. I love that you used all of those Delicas. We have them. So if you haven't jumped in and gotten your beads already, we have the project page. It's right up on the home page as well. You can click over everything you need, but don't feel that you need to be limited to Danielle's color choices. You could do these in any of the 10s. Could you do these in the 11s or
Yes.
just anything, Danielle, right? They'd come out a little smaller, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make them in any bead size, really. It's just going to change the scale.
Yeah, great. And of course, Danielle has written up one of her fantastic tutorials that is also up there on the project page. So we are good. There it is. So shall we just jump in? I am ready. I am
Yes.
so ready to make these.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll switch my screen really quick here.
All right. So I will solo myself while you flip the screen over. And I will also tell you, folks, if you've been reading your newsletter, there's going to be more info about it, but make sure you read yesterday's newsletter. Talks a little bit about the changeover that we're going to make with customer accounts. I'll have more on that on the other newsletters as well. No one panic, but I just wanted to mention that. I also wanted to mention that so many of you have signed up for my sewing class. You're going to be getting some info on that to everyone who's signed up already. If you're ready and you want to jump in, everything is going to be pre-recorded. So if you don't, if you're like, oh, I'm busy that day, I can't watch, all of these classes that we're doing, like my sewing classes and stuff, they'll be available for you to watch and rewatch over and over again. So you'll be getting some info about that. So, so yes, the answer is stay tuned to your newsletters because I've got our next class and next things coming out. All right. So sorry about that, Danielle, but now that you are set, I'm going to put you on and we are ready.
So here's the earring design, and it's worked in several different parts or steps. So the first, it's kind of an unusual start to brick stitch, but it's one that I think is really handy. And I'm combining multi-drops. I've got a 3-drop, a 2-drop, and a single. Makes it really quick. So it's probably the fastest brick stitch method I think is out there to start with multi-drop peyote. So this is a 3-2 drop, multi-drop peyote start. And then you build up and down, and starting with a long tail for the bottom so that you have enough to do a fringe. And the way the fringe is made is to look like a little bundled tassel. Oh, and so you've got 3 beads at the bottom, but you end up having 5 fringe strands because if you ladder stitch to the front and the back another bead, you end up with 5 strands that come together like there's a little silk wrap on them.
Oh, nice.
And so it's dainty, it's cool, but really kind of looks cool when you're wearing it. And I layer them in a way that they kind of stand out when you've got them on.
Wow, they just look terrific. I just love them.
Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. And I love that peyote start. You know, and Janice, thanks for linking that. You can jump in, go grab the handout so you can follow along. That, of course, will always be on the project page. I love, would you get that page back, Danielle, that has the start, the peyote start? So that's like a 3-drop and a 2-drop. Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
Wow. Wow. It's really great. Well, I'm excited to see how you start it. So I guess let's get going.
Let's dive in. Yeah. And so on the first page, you'll see there's the legend for what colors to lay out in which order. For now, we don't need anything but the 10s. There are some 15s at the end for the fringe. But for I've got these in reverse order here of the colors you need. So there's black Picasso, rattlesnake. There's a tan, I think it's called canary. There's chartreuse. There's the turquoise or the seafoam, sometimes called, and then the red garnet. Those are all Picassos. So pretty.
So nice.
In that order. And I'm just going to move these really quick. And I have these samples in process, so as soon as we feel comfortable with the brick stitch, I can jump to different places in the tutorial.
Great. You're so good at that. You're always so very well prepared. And I love this new little symbols component that we're using to attach the earring. I am in love with that. It's so good. I'm using it on, I'll show you this earring at the end. Some of you have seen it, but as soon as we got it, I'm like, that's my new favorite way to finish an earring.
I love it too. And it's really secure. So it's like a wire guardian without all the worrying about the well. And
Right, exactly. Oh, I love it. Love, 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 love.
so lots of pretty colors going here, but having them in order really helps.
Right.
And here's the red. And so that's all you'll need to do to start is just get those beautifuls out. And then for thread, because it's fringe, you can start with about 70 inches of beading thread.
Okay.
And then what I do is I work the top half with one of those strands. So the 20 inches or so, and you leave a 50-inch tail to work the bottom.
Okay.
So this
And
is
we're using Fireline, Danielle, correct?
Oh, yeah, you can use Fireline or you can use Black KO. I think.
What did we put? I don't even know what I put in the project. Let me check. I have it right here. It is the Black KO that you're using. That's correct. That's correct.
But I think you could use Fireline if you want. And I couldn't find my black, so I actually have brown here. So forgive me, but it's going to still work.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's somewhere down there. I just can't find it.
Yeah.
So, but it's a with the rattlesnake and the Picasso. Actually, the brown looks great too. So
Yeah.
kind of get away with a lot. It's pretty flexible. But let me bring the pattern back. So this start it's actually really easy once you get the hang of it, and you can use this on any brick stitch. Just identify your widest row and the row above or below it, and use those and work them in single column peyote. So what I'll do is I'll string these 2 beads here, then I'll string these 3, those 3, and I'll bring my thread back through the first 2.
Oh.
So you just want to go in that order. And once you get the hang of it, it totally makes sense. The direction to string them is the only tricky part. So that was 3 bees for the side. And then it's the canary for the next column in on that edge. And my thread's a little short for the demo here, just to make it easier with like not hitting my lamps and stuff. But you would have a 50-inch tail here and a 20-inch working thread here.
And so those 3, that first group, the second group, and the third group, those are your first row, your first 3 lines of peyote stitch, right? That's right.
Yep.
It's that one, and that one. So clever. And then you go back up there, and then you just start your peyote.
And from there, it's just sailing, and it gets done so quick.
Oh, that's so I was doing a show, I can't remember, a stitch in or something, and someone was mentioning your peyote stitch start, and I was trying to like go, well, maybe it's like this. So now the light bulb has just turned on. What a great start that is.
It saves you so much time. Like,
Yeah.
and I wish I had discovered it sooner. I used to ladder, like forever.
Right.
And
same.
It's also less bulky than the ladder. So you end up with easier thread passes on smaller bead, like Delica or 11-0s and things like that. Oh. Where this really saves your life is if you're working with a check 11-0.
Right.
Because by the time you ladder a check 11-0, you can't go through that bead again.
Right, exactly, because the hole sizes are a little smaller.
Yeah. On these Delicas, you could probably drive a bus through them, but they're really, really good beads. But and I'm going to lower I feel like I'm really high. There you go. Is that a little better?
Oh, great. Yeah, that's a little better. Thank you. Thank you for
that way up there. So there's those first ones. And then you just bring your needle back in this way. And when you pull, there's your first section. So you've got those 3 and 3, and then there's your top 2. The color differences in the Picasso, especially between the Picasso black and the rattlesnake, are really subtle. Mm-hmm. But you see it in block. So when the whole thing's all stitched up, it might not stand out very much right now, but in block, really, it gives it depth.
Yeah.
And so that's the first one. And then, so we're exiting currently from that bead. Mm-hmm. And now we just need to come over here and string a B and a C, and we'll head down through the C's. Here's our B and our C. And just for this first step, I just kind of hold it, keep it really tight in my hand. And then you just want to head through all 3 of those beads. And it's okay if it loosens up on you. We're going to tighten it all up. So now we have that. And the next one on the pattern page is to go for 3 of the chartreuse. That is the color D.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, we'll pick up those 3 and we'll go through those 2. Those 2 are our new up bead for peyote stitch. So we're just going through those. The one thing with single column peyote is it can tend to get kind of loose on you. So I have a trick for that too. So like right at this step right here, if you want to go ahead and lock it, something you can do is you can just bring your needle back down through the first 2 beads here. So the ones we created there. So just go through those and then just head back up to the 2 we just went through.
Right.
So that's just making a little turn. And what that does is it keeps it from being loosening as you work.
Right. That makes sense.
Anytime you want to do that, if you feel like it needs it, you can do that at any point along this journey. And it really helps.
Yeah.
So our next one is just 2 C's. So we'll pick up 1, 2 of those. We'll head through those 3 there. And now we need 3E. That's the sea foam. You see I'm kind of pulling on the thread to keep it tight, doing that here with my fingers. You'll figure out like your method that works for you the best as you go through it. And here's the C and D, and I'm just following that pattern over here to my left off camera.
Mm-hmm.
So far we've got that.
Right, because doing that ladder across for like, I guess maybe you'd start with the 3 because that's the widest row. That would take forever.
Oh yes, yeah, it would. It would take a while.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a little lock stitch here.
That's very clever.
And then I need to do one of these, D and E. Here's 3 of the red garnet. That's our middle. So we're already at the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this piece goes pretty quickly.
I might just do a little lock here at the bottom. You can do locks at the top or the bottom. Here's one at the bottom. And this next set here. And now it's just kind of repeating out in a mirror from what we had.
Right.
Here's those 3. And I actually kind of enjoy this stitch, this part of the designing. It's not laborsome, you know, it's kind of fun.
Right.
And then here's my B and 1 C, almost at the end.
And laying those colors in color order, that's a really good tip. Pardon me, tip for sure.
Yeah, it definitely helps, I think. And then this one is going to be an A and a B. I'm going to head down through here. And then, sorry, I just lost my needle really quick. And then one last set. It happens all the time. I was like, oh no. I made this demo thread a little short, but that's okay. All right. So there it is, all done.
Nice. Look at that. So easy. Wow.
It just goes really quick. So I'm going to lock in this side so I can start the next part. And on this side, the tail side, and keep in mind, this would be like a 50-inch tail. Mine's short again, just because I have a bit of a thread nest going over here. But I'm going to grab one other needle just really quick. Thread that. And go ahead and do the same thing on this side. But keep in mind this one, we're going to be working, this is our top, so we're headed this way. Just finish that. So the thread we have that we've been working with is exiting over here. And we're just going to work these rows with that thread.
Right, to work back.
Our 50-inch tail is exiting from over here. He's hanging out over there. I'm just going to bring it down, 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 down. So it's over here. So and it also serves to lock in that edge, which is also really handy. And I want it through those 3. So I'm going to go through the green row. That's the 3rd one in. And then make a turn this way through those 3. And then let's turn and let's go that way. So now that tail's ready to complete the bottom of the work and become our fringe eventually. And it'll be kind of long, so just push it out of the way. And then we can work the rest of the pattern this way in regular brick stitch. Right. And so the next row is just an easy single row. It's super easy. And I have a lazy brick stitch that I like to do. I think there's more than one way you can start. You can start with 2 beads, but since I'm working with dark thread against a really dark bead, I just pick up 1. And I'm not sure why I like doing this. The thread does show on the side. I'll show both ways. There's the 2 bead start and the single bead start. And the single bead start, I like how it just makes the beads sit exactly without having to do the bead thingy.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I have been doing the 2 bead start, and when I was kind of working on some brick stitch the other day, I'm like, why can't I just do it with 1 bead?
Yeah, it's liberating, right? It's like, hang on, I can just do that if you want to. No one's going to see that little thread.
Yeah, no one cares.
It's so much quicker, and you can just get a beautiful result. And I actually feel like it makes it look a little like more sharp.
Right.
And there's 3. I'll just go to the end of this row, and then there's an indent I can show you.
Yeah, everyone's talking about how much they really love those 10-aughts. It really does make a difference, you know, in that in the speed, I guess is what I want to say.
Oh yeah, and you get a really pretty like design that you can really see.
Right, exactly.
So there's that row all done. And it makes it really like just nice and sharp looking the way that I started that bead. So the next row is an indent of 1. And I also have a lazy way of doing the indent too.
All right. I love it.
So, and this one is really lazy. But I'm just going to go down through this bead and then up through the next one. And I know from the pattern that I want the first bead of this row to sit above the second thread bridge. So we'll just pick up the bead that goes there, and we'll just go under that second thread bridge.
Right.
And then head through the bead. And there we go. It's right where we want it.
That's really great.
And here's the next one. And you can, of course, you know, just do that 2 bead start. If you like doing that, it looks nice too. So there's really no way to go wrong.
Right.
And the rest of the row is, you just carry on. From there, you just finish that row. And then the rest of these are normal rows.
Gotcha.
It ends with 4A at the top. And I have a jump ahead one so we can do cooking style.
I love it.
So I would have just finished just a few more rows to save us watching that. So once you get that done, what you'll have, and this one has true lengths now. So here's my tail. This is really the really long tail. And then over here, I've got my leftover working thread. I might need to just pop a needle on that really quick. So you'll end up there. After you create your last row, you'll have just those 4. And now it's time to add the finding. To add the finding, it's really nice if you have some 15s. And so in the parts list, these really cool brown Picassos, they look really nice in the design. You could also just use jet or something like that if you have that handy. I'm going to grab some pliers. This is a really tight one. There we go. Let's get a few of those. We don't need many. That's way more. Well, we'll use them for fringe, so I'll leave them out. And so you're going to want to put the little top. It's going to go above the center of those 4. So you're at the 4th one now. So just weave back down through the one that's right before it. And then just head up through the next one. And from here, pick up 2 15. And then one of the Pelops findings. This is the bronze, but it'll be pretty in any color.
Yeah, I really, really like them.
So there's those. And then just go through the second one in from the edge. So you're exiting here from the second in from the edge. Just go from the one that's right next to it. So just like that. And you'll get this. And it's so cool looking. You'll want to reinforce that at least 2 more times. And sometimes I can get it in one swoop. Let's see if I'm lucky. Here we go. I'm going to head through those 2 and then through the 1 in the row there. Let's do one more so you can see how it really pops. There we go. I got through both those that time. And what I really like is how it settles. It literally just like settles in between the 2 15s.
Right.
On each side. And it looks like it's attached to the beadwork at that point. Like the metal is attached. So that's all you got to do. And if you want to go through a few more beads, weaving in, let's see, head this way. Make it one more time through just that bead. And then I'll go down through this one. To kind of pull those together a little bit. And then from here, just weaving in. Weaving is really easy. Just go through some beads, make some turns anywhere you want. Stick with the thread path you've got.
Oh, did you hear that meow? Yeah.
Oh, I heard that.
Yep, there's Alfred out and about.
Hi, Alfred.
Yeah. He says, hi, Danielle. Oh.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Alfie, you just relax. Yeah, he wants some attention.
Aw.
Boy. Miranda's going to have to drag him up.
Yes, he's decided it's pet time.
That's right. It is.
There we go.
Oh, look at that. Oh, there he is. Good boy.
And that's so, yeah, really, really easy to do. So I can show brick stitching down from here. There is a 2-column start, and then maybe you can jump ahead.
Yeah, why don't we do that? We're doing great on time. Oh, it's so funny. Wendy just said, my dog just barked at your meow. He's like, hey, that's an unknown voice. Yeah, poor Alfred. He's on a little bit of a slimming regime because he has Yeah, we want to make sure that he's going to be around for a long time. So he's going through a little bit of kitty kitty
Aw,
kitty work, working on Alfie. So, but he's good. But
yeah.
he's yeah, our boy. Yeah, he is. He's all, please, mama, food, please, mama.
He wants to eat.
He just wants to eat, but not today, Alfred. I mean, not right now, of course, today.
Yes, today, sometime today.
Yes, yes.
Aw, this is so cute. Yeah, and so let's see. So from here, we finished all that now, and we have the finding on the top. So all good there. So we just only have this to work.
Great.
And I'll show this column since it's a 2-stacker, and then we'll maybe jump ahead since we've seen that already.
Okay, great.
And so here's this one. Let me move that really quick. Okay. So your thread will be here at the bottom. And on this one, it does make sense to do the 2-bead start. And so you'll want to pick up the beads in this order since you're exiting from here. You'll want to pick up a B and an A, then a B and a C. So those 4 beads. And then just go ahead and go under the second thread bridge. And then head up through those 2 beads. And on this one, you're going to have something that looks like that probably. And so go ahead and head through these. This is that, just straightening out the columns by going back through them. And so then with any luck, you'll have them sitting side by side. If your top 2 don't automatically, like if you have one that's jetting out like that, I sometimes have that and sometimes I don't. You can always go through just the one.
Right.
But this is kind of where I like that single bead start when that's possible, because it kind of saves you doing all that. And then you're just heading back through that top bead in that column. In that case, like loose retention is actually more helpful than going really tight.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're in there. Yeah. So otherwise it kind of, I feel like it causes it to cinch up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of this row is worked with just the 2 beads that are for each of the, each one in the pattern. And you'll recognize it because it's going to match what's up here. So you just complete that to the end. And then from there, you'll be over here and you'll just work that single row. Here's our indent, working that single row. And all the way to here, which is where we left off at the top. But on this one, there's another row of just 3. And so from there, that will put you right here to get ready for the next step. And the next step is really fun.
Janice has a quick question, and we touched on it a little bit, but it's a good time to say, if you want to do this with the 11s or any other, you don't have to do any adjusting. You just have to use the same bead all the way through, right?
Yeah, you'd want to do the whole pattern with all 11-0.
Right.
But I think it would still work with the 15s for the fringe and the 3mm fire polish.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be a lot daintier.
Right.
But all these steps would be exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just need a magnifier.
Right.
I feel like. But the little Delicas, they get smaller and smaller to my eyes every time I use them.
That's right. I really like these 10s.
Yeah, me too. I really dig them. They are my favorite. But so here's something a little different. So for the fringe, right now we've just got 3 beads. And I want to have 5. And I want them to look like a tassel bundle. So And I go down through the middle bead, and then exiting here from that middle bead, I'm going to pick up another one and just ladder stitch this one bead onto the front of this one.
Mm.
So it's going to look a little weird, but you're going to have something that looks like that.
Right.
And reinforce it. I'm just going to go through one more time because you know how with ladder stitching, it's pretty loose. You want to reinforce.
Right.
And there we go. So now we've got that bead on the front. And then if you can get your needle to go, I just poke it in between these two beads to get it to the back. Just want it to be at the back of the earring now. And it's easier to do that on the mat, but just moving my thread out of the way. I'm just going to go under the thread bridge, just so I'm exiting from the front of the middle bead now. Front or back, it's kind of the same at this point, but so now I need one more bead. And then again, I'm going to ladder stitch that to the center bead and reinforce it.
And so you've kind of made that little, like a little diamond shape.
Yeah. And I mean, you could go crazy. You could do 9 if you wanted to.
Right.
I just kept it simple with 5. I'll bring the finished one over because I thought it was cute with just 5. But really, there's no reason you couldn't go crazy and do more. And you could really go crazy and do like layers out this side.
Yeah.
So there's no limit there. It's just how much fringe do you want?
And there was a quick question here from Joy that's asking, same symbol finding then?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So it will be less wide. And so you may want to straddle 3 instead of 2. So in that case, I would recommend, if you're going to do this 11-0 Delica, switch down to a row 3 at the top.
Ah, gotcha.
And then have that Pilos finding exit out of this and go like that. Because they're going to be a little too thin. Because even with the 10-0 Delica, you can see that 2 wide was starting to space those in the center out just a little bit.
Right.
But 3 would be perfect. And you can even do 3 here with this one. It's just that when you do something wider, the finding doesn't necessarily connect to the beadwork. It kind of floats above it. And so it just, it's something you can play with, though. You can play with the counts on your 15s. You can play with the position of the finding on the top of the beadwork and see what looks cool to you.
Right.
All right. And so from here, I'm going to go ahead and just exit from one of the ones I laddered. And for me, that's just this one that's really easy to get to. It's right on the front. So now I've got my thread coming out of one of those laddered beads at the bottom. And then here's the pattern page for the fringe. And the way I wrote it was there's a front strand, and pick whichever one to become the front. And then there's the middle left, middle, and middle right. And then your back strand. And that's what gives it all that dimension. And the pattern's exactly the same except for the varied counts of the A's at the beginning and end of each strand.
Oh, right. To give them a little bit of a different length.
Yeah. And I played with it a lot to see what would look neat. And I settled on this because when you're wearing it, they all kind of bunch together, but the different length, especially having the longer one in the back versus the front, really makes a difference. So when you put the ear wire on, you'll just want to note, put the ear wire on the one that only has 2A as your fringe start in the front. So your shortest strand should be your front strand. But of course, that's to your taste, like whatever you like. You could always change up these counts. So let me do the first strand to just show it really quick. Okay. So you want to space each fringe strand with a size 15 seed bead. So each bead is what I meant. So we'll pick up 1 and then a 15, 2 and then a 15. And then the rest of the pattern is really easy. It's just one of each. So you don't really have to think about it after a while. It'll just be kind of like motor memory for picking them up. And then when you reach the red, go back up the mountain. Just go back to the turquoise, to the green, to the canary, and to the rattlesnake. And then you'll want to, since we've got, this is row 1 in the front. So we just did that 2A there. And now we need a fire polish and a 15. So let me grab some of those. And these are 3 millimeter. And for your pair of earrings, you only need 10 beads.
Great. Not too many.
Yeah. So super pretty fringe strand there. Got my 15 on there at the bottom for my turning. And I'm just going to head through all those beads. And I like to grab the 15 and just kind of pull like that just to get the tension right. And so from here, you can just bring your needle down now through the middle. So I went through the middle bead, I headed down through it. And I'm going to work the middle strand just because that's where I'm at. So you can really just work these in any order you want. The middle strand has 7. So that's, there's 1. Four. There's 5. 7. And then just our good old pattern.
And you could put anything down there on the bottom, really.
Oh, oh my goodness.
If you wanted to put like a little charm on one of them or, whatever, right?
That would be cute. A little charm in the middle or even like a brio or.
Mm-hmm. Would be really cute. And then Jennifer's asking if you have a preference between Fireline or KO for fringe.
For fringe, definitely either some KO or some 1G, something more in the size B realm. Unless you're working with really big beads like an 8/0 seed bead, then you could maybe get away with some 4-pound Fireline.
Right.
So there's 3.
Yeah, I like it because it's a little, has a little more movement to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a little more flowy.
Yeah, but it just depends on, on what you're looking for. Sometimes you do need that stiffer look. So, just experiment. I don't think there's a wrong answer there for that.
Yeah, very true. You could always have more weight. Like if you wanted to put like a 6 millimeter bead at the bottom, then
yeah, exactly.
So I finished that fringe strand, and here's the last bead. So where to go? Just go through that center bead and pull that through, and just do the fringe like normally, like you would do. It's going to pinch the end. Great. From there, just turn through one of the side beads that's in that row of 3, and then lay it so that your front strand is showing. We did the front one first there. So this is my right. Sorry, this is my left, and this is my right. It actually kind of doesn't matter. It's just if you want them to be the same, then you've got to identify your front and do the same left and the same right. If that even matters, which honestly, I don't. It's probably fine either way. Right. But if that matters to you, then think about it here. Have it be relative to where your front strand is. I'm just making sure I didn't miss a bead there. It's possible I missed a. It's really easy to skip a 15.
Oh, for sure.
I might have done that. That's okay.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say you could add that pop of color with that 15 however you wanted to do it, pretty much.
Oh yeah, like a really dark bead with a bright metallic 15 popping out.
Would look
That could be
really
really
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super neat. I like that. And so let's see. The left has 4. I'll just create the last one here. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so there's 2, 3, 4 there. There's this one. Oop. And let me know if you guys are, if you feel like you've seen it and you got it, and I'll just keep going on the fringe. Either way is totally fine with me.
Yeah, let's just do one more little fringe.
Okay.
And then I'll also have something to show you. I don't know how this is going to come out here, but we'll see.
I can't wait.
Well, we'll see what happens here. I don't know.
I still remember the one you made at the gem duos. That was so cool.
Yeah. The gem duos. I've been trying to finish so that the projects on the homepage look finished. So I'm in a mad dash to try and get some earrings done, but I just wanted to try this with these A-dots sitting here because I think, and it's not the right colorway, but I'll show you in just a sec. I want to finish this row and then I'll show you what I've done here and you can kind of see the difference because I love this motif. We named, when we were chatting with Danielle about the name for this piece, we called it Fanoos, which means lantern, like a Moroccan lantern, because it had that kind of lantern shape. And in the description and stuff, you can kind of read a little bit about what we learned about that lantern, which I love that shape. So it's kind of fun to have a little bit of history behind the shape and the idea behind it too.
Yeah, and the colors have that Spice Market feeling. It's got that whole like antique, like almost like ancient look to it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I really do. Okay, let me see. I can probably just hold this up. Let me see though if I can add. I'm going to try and add my phone to the mix here. Give me just a second while I didn't think I needed it, but of course, I always come up with something. Let me see if I can grab.
One more tip I could share about the fringe. So when you've got, for example, I just finished my left fringe. You're going to find that you're exiting over here and you're going to want to get either back to the middle or over to this side. And it's really easy. Just go through the next row up. So through the bead and the row right above, kind of just try to not get my fringe all caught in there though. Bring that over. There we go. And then you can head down through the adjacent and it'll bring you right through the one that you're ready to add now on the other side.
Oh, that's great.
So that's how you get over there. From there, after you finish that fringe strand, you'll be here. And you can do the same thing again. Head through this one, and then this time just go through the back one. And that's all you got to do. From there, just weave in. Your earring's done, ear wire.
All right. Love it. Let me add, you keep yours on there. I'm going to try and share my camera here. Bear with me here just a moment. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to move. I want this. And I want this. Okay. So what I was doing here, Danielle, while you were teaching us, I used, let me see if I can turn my light. I used, and you can see how much bigger it is. I had some of the Forks monthly mix because I'm working on finishing, like I said, these earrings here. but I tried to follow your start because I just wanted to see what the difference would look like.
Oh,
So
yes.
these are ADOTs, and I just pulled out and made my little kind of A, B, C, D, E line. This isn't probably what I would go with color-wise, but I did want to see how long across that start would be, because we do have the ADOTs in the Picasso. It would look cool. So that middle row is about 1.25 inches right there. So as opposed to, let me put yours there.
Yeah.
So it does make it, just a little bit bigger, but it's kind of fun.
A little under 1 inch.
Yeah. So here's that one with the ADOTs there. And you can see I kind of followed the pattern. I would want more contrast and stuff. So I just used these beads that were in front of me. But this is the peyote stitch start and 1 row. So if you were going to do a pendant, like a lantern shaped kind of pendant, it would probably be maybe about this big. I don't know, something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So the height on this one is before you put the finding on, it's about 1.10 inches, a little over 1 inch, and a little under 1 inch. So that would make it about 1.5 inches tall, probably with an 8/0.
Yeah, probably about.
Because these are about 1.8 millimeter
Pardon me.
big. And then I think an 8/0 seed bead's like 3 millimeters.
Yeah, 3 millimeters exactly.
Yeah, so that would scale up really nice. It would be statement, really pretty. You could always shorten the fringe on it.
Yeah, and this could also, I think, look pretty cool if it's a like a pendant or something too, because this is that brick stitch that I used that finding. These are the ones that I showed that I was working on the plane when I was traveling back. Oh, and Sharon just asked, I want to know how Kate liked Princeton. I love Princeton. I go back east to visit my friends. They used to have a bead store in Princeton, New Jersey called The Place to Bead. And so downtown Princeton is fantastic. But you can see that little ADOT finding there. If we put this next to, that earring, so you can see that shape. But this is really, I just love, and I'll put yours right back center. Let me focus on that one for a second. You can see all the steps and everything there, if you want to do like a screenshot or whatever, now's a good time. But you can see how each one of these components, as they build, this would also maybe make an interesting bracelet center. You always come up with such an interesting motif, Danielle, that we can use in different, in different ways for sure.
Oh, that's such a cool idea. Thank you. That's a cool idea. I love the idea of making this a focal on a bracelet. Oh, that gives me a really fun idea, actually. Because, oh yeah. Okay, so if you ended with 4, you could have 2 strands coming out of the center, seed beads.
Right.
Or you could even bring it down to 2, and that would work. And you'd have something like I have something here that will give you kind of an idea. Brick stitch, you can build strands off of.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Those are cool.
Those are 8/0s, but like you can just see that as this, right? You could take the same concept and just make 3. So that currently has 3 or 4. So you could either just do the 2 center ones. You could make 4 if you want.
Right.
And
I really like the way when you string, when you put that smaller seed bead in between. So that's an 11 between the 8s. Is that right?
Yeah. In that case, it's an 11. And in this case, it's a 15. It's a little different. These are Toho, so they were a little bit more jumping around. They're a little less precise than the Miyukis, I think, but
still, it has its charm for sure. I love that look.
And the way I was building it, you just keep going. You just keep like stitching down, and then you can do the last one It has like a really good thread path, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a fun one. You could do that with the Picassos and it would look really cool too.
Yeah, it would look great. Really nice. Is that a pattern from your website, Danielle?
It is, yeah. It's vintage vibes is what I called
Oh,
it.
nice.
And you could totally do that pattern with these beads, and I feel like that will look really neat. It'd be a little smaller. That's a little bigger because of the 8 is going, but it would definitely work with those.
Oh, that's great. All right. Yes. Really nice. All right. Well, I will, let me put this back on. So if anyone wants to see that, and you can move your camera back, Danielle, if you'd like. So yeah, it looks like I just have 3 more rows to go up here on this one. So I might complete it. We'll see. I don't know. It's a good way to kind of see how it, you know, and they don't lock in as nicely as your there we go. As your Delicas, right? It's a little rounder, but that's great. And Janice just put up your vintage vibes right there. So really fun project to play around with. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
It's out of the shot right there. All right. Yeah, they're really great. I can't wait to play around with it. Yeah. And those Picasso finishes. So you folks can find all of this on Danielle's project page right over on beadshop.com. Jump on the homepage. There's a link to it. It'll be up for a while, or you can just go to projects or the earrings. It'll all be there in several different places that you can find. So thank you, Danielle.
Thank you
so much. What a cool project. We can always count on something interesting from your hands and your needle for sure.
Oh, thank you. I had fun. I always love being here with you.
Well, it's great. And we're going to have you'll be back soon.
Yeah, I believe we have something on the calendar. I need to get my calendar out, but
yeah, I know. Me too. I'm all as long as it's not next week, I think we're okay. But we're starting to get, I think, the beads and we've got some new symbols that we're going to be using, new to us symbols for that. So so it's going to be fun. And Janice, thanks for reminding us. Yes, put yourselves, folks, on the notification list. It's going to be back in this Forks mix that Miranda did. Just sold out like almost immediately. I love that you folks love it as much as I do. So we'll have more of that back in next week. So that's that, I guess.
Awesome. Oh, see hearts in the chat.
Yeah, love it. Lots of hearts in the chat. We love it. Well, thank you, my friends. Danielle, we'll see you soon. Thank you for always making this so easy. Oh, Marianne has a quick question that I think I'll answer, and maybe you can come in too. With these ones that I'm doing, the brick stitch rounds, Marianne was asking, do most of those with the round findings kind of bend a little bit? They do a little. It also depends on the I guess the tension, but you could use the diamond glaze on these if you really wanted to stiffen them up. Do you ever stiffen any of yours like this, Danielle?
No, I think when they're loose, sometimes I just go and back through them a bunch of times to stiffen them up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could do that same thing with this round. You know, you could come in and just kind of reinforce and it would stiffen it up too. So yeah, I don't really worry about it too much.
It's interesting, the diamond glaze. I hadn't thought of that before. It'd be interesting to try that.
Yeah. I use the diamond glaze on things like this sometimes when they're round and have that opening in the center to really hold it stiff. But I don't think on your earrings, those lantern ones, I don't think it's needed. It stays plenty.
Yeah, I find if you go wider than like 9 or 11, that's when you start to see the folding.
Yeah.
Especially when there's fringe that's all the way to the edge.
Right.
But having it come to the center takes that pressure off to fold.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so Oh, sorry. I just did a little bit of a yawn because you've just relaxed me so much. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm like,
I thought you were going to sneeze.
Now little lunch and nap
This
time,
is
I
sleepy
think.
time. Hey,
That's
Alfred agrees. Alfred
That's
agrees.
right. That's right. Yes, I need to grab Alfred. Totally. Well, thank you again. We'll see you soon, Danielle. I'm going to put this up real quick so everyone knows where to find us all over the interweb. Find us on our Facebook page, our wonderful Facebook group called The Bead Table. It's fantastic. Our Instagram, our Pinterest pages are full of inspiration. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button right there on YouTube. YouTube is a great place to watch our replays. We have over 1,000 different tutorials and lives and stuff on there. Reach out anytime across the internet at beadshop.com. And of course, we're only an email away at info@beadshop.com. I think that's it. All right, Danielle, thanks so much. We'll see you next time. And thank you, all of you, for joining us and watching us today. What a fun project.
Thanks so much.
All right. Talk to you all soon. I'll see you Friday, everybody.